Hi everyone, Scott here. I think I'm going to get about one video out per month at the rate I'm going. This is my channel, CineRam, and this is my series, Directors of the MCU, in which I look at film directors who have made movies for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but looking at the films that they made, a couple of films they made outside of that. For this particular video, I am doing the directors of the last couple Avengers movies, plus the last couple of Captain America movies, the Russo Brothers, Anthony and Joe. But before I get to them, I think I started doing a poll. I'll do a poll on which director I tackle in my next video. So the choices are, if you want to comment below and vote, Joe Johnston, who directed the first Captain America movie from 2011, or Kenneth Branagh, who directed the first Thor movie, also from 2011. I'm really looking forward to doing Kenneth Branagh, actually, because he did a Much Ado About Nothing. In 1993, Much Ado About Nothing is a Shakespeare play, William Shakespeare. He made that into a film. And then 20 years later, almost exactly, Joss Whedon had his own Much Ado About Nothing, which came out in theaters after the first Avengers movie. Exactly 20 years apart, more or less. You know, just summer of 93, summer of 2013. And so I thought I'd do a double feature video when the time comes. So if you vote for Kenneth Branagh, that's the one that I'm going to do. I'm going to do both his Much Ado About Nothing and Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing, knock off two directors with one stone. If you vote for Joe Johnston, I'll pick a Joe Johnston movie. I'm not sure which one I'll do yet, but that's what it's going to be. So leave a comment in the comment section of the YouTube page, or maybe on the Facebook page, whatever you want to do. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, the Facebook page, link to the Facebook page is below, so you can check that out. And Facebook page is where you can find all my videos, because you can't always find videos for small creators in your subscription inbox. You could always find it on my Facebook page, though. I always put them up there. The Russo Brothers, man, they're making some great movies. We have Kevin Feige to thank for picking them to do Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Of course, he's largely responsible for all the directors that they're picking, but good choice in that part, because I wouldn't think that watching the film that I just saw by them, You, Me, and Dupree, that they would be the perfect people to direct gigantic superhero movies, but they turned out to be a great choice. Captain America: Civil War is my favorite film in the MCU. I'm a big fan of Winter Soldier. I'm a big fan of Infinity War. Didn't like Endgame as much, because it seems like basically like 3 hours of fan service. Without a really logical plot to go along with it. There's tons of issues with the plot of Endgame that I have. But they're still really, really good filmmakers, and they can really deliver when it comes to the spectacle, and also just in terms of just directing, scenes and things like that. They're good at what they do. So I wanted to check out You, Me, and Dupree, which is a movie that they made before any of that happened. I didn't like it. I didn't like You, Me, and Dupree at all. In fact, it took me about 3 days to actually get through the whole thing, because I kept having to stop the movie because I was so pissed off by it. And I think I hit on an idea that I really hadn't realized before, and it has to do with basically comedies in general. When you are watching a drama or an action movie or a horror movie or what have you, things go wrong for the characters. And as a viewer, I kind of go, oh no, things are going wrong, how are they going to get out of this? But with comedies, when things go wrong, that's part of the fun. You're supposed to take delight in things going wrong, being misunderstandings or mishaps, pratfalls, what have you, When things go wrong in a comedy, you're supposed to enjoy that. And I don't. I don't enjoy it when things go wrong. When things are really embarrassing for the main characters. A prime example of this is Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents. He gets embarrassed over and over and over again, and I hated that movie. Just hated the experience of having to suffer through this guy's embarrassment. I didn't find it fun at all. And You, Me, and Dupree is kind of the same thing. The plot of You, Me, and Dupree is the you and the me are Matt Dillon and Kate Hudson. They're newlyweds. They're very much in love. They just got their first house. And Dupree is Matt Dillon's closest friend. Owen Wilson plays Dupree. and he comes to the wedding, and he's the best man, and everyone has a great time. But then, after they get home again, Dupree says, hey, I lost my job, and I don't have a place to live right now. Could I stay with you guys for a little bit? And Matt Dillon goes, oh, darn, Dupree, yeah, sure, come on, you can stay in our cars for a while. And he comes and lives with them after they gotten back from their honeymoon, and everything just goes wrong. He just messes everything up for them. Meanwhile, the father-in-law, Matt Dillon's father-in-law, Kate Hudson's father, is played by Michael Douglas, and he basically runs an architecture firm, and Matt Dillon works for him. That's how he and Kate Hudson met to begin with. And Michael Douglas clearly does not like Matt Dillon's character at all. His name is Carl. I have a little difficult time remembering character names. I remember Carl because they say the name over and over and over again. Owen Wilson says it all the time. And of course Dupree is in the title, but I can't remember Kate Hudson's character's name, and I can't remember Michael Douglas' character's name. And the other issue that I have with this is that Matt Dillon has a bunch of friends who he likes to hang out with. Seth Rogen is also in the movie. He's one of Matt Dillon's friends. But Kate Hudson doesn't appear to have any friends. She's a school teacher. She works, and then she comes home to Matt Dillon. That's kind of like her whole life. She doesn't have anything outside of that. So that was kind of a bummer. And she's, kind of a nag at first. She's like, come on, Dupree's messing everything up for us. And he's like, and Matt Dillon is like, come on, he's my best friend. I got to help him out. He's in a tight spot. Till he gets on his feet again, and he just ends up, causing all kinds of havoc for them. But eventually, Kate Hudson gets to like Dupree, and they end up, having bonding. And then Matt Dillon starts to get jealous. And it's just like, hey, is Dupree messing around with my girl, or does he want to mess around with my girl, that kind of thing. And it's just ridiculous because, given how good-natured Dupree is and how genuine he is and how open-hearted he is, he would never do anything like that. And so it's ridiculous to think that Matt Dillon would actually believe that that's actually happening. There's a subplot also involving Dupree, which was really, really strange. Kate Hudson works as a school teacher, and she sets Dupree up with the school librarian, a girl named Mandy. So Dupree has a little date with her that results in some chaos. But then he spends the rest of the movie pining for her and trying to call her and trying to get in touch with her, and for some reason she isn't talking to him. But we never actually see Mandy. Okay, we see like her hair, but we never see her face. We never hear her voice or anything like that. They hide her, and I'm just thinking, okay, Mandy must be played by somebody really famous who's going to show up at the end of the movie. And say, hey, Dupree, I'd really like to give you another chance. And she's played by, like, Scarlett Johansson or somebody really instantly recognizable, But they never follow up on that, Mandy just vanishes. And there's no particular reason why they wouldn't actually show her face or hear one single word of dialogue from her. It's really, really weird. Plus, there's the whole business with Michael Douglas just tormenting Matt Dillon. He's just like always trying to make, like, he puts him in charge of this big architectural project, and then he just completely undermines him at every turn, and it just really the whole experience is just really unpleasant. I like most of the actors in this movie. I think they're good actors, but I just didn't like this movie at all. It took me a long time to actually get around to finishing the whole thing. That's one of the reasons why this video is so late, is because, it took me like 2 weeks, and I took it in like 3 chunks, and finally I finished it like, oh, thank goodness that's over. So I never would have thought, if I had watched this movie when it came out, that these guys would be a good choice to direct, gigantic superhero movies, but turned out great. Turned out great. I think they've done some television work. I believe, if I'm not sure about this, but they did work on the show Community, and I don't know if they had anything to do with the show Happy Endings, but I can't be sure about that. I know they did Community, but yeah, this is the only other film of them that I've seen them that they did. That wasn't in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I didn't like it at all. I think they've done one other one besides that one, but I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. So, yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I wasn't expecting anything spectacular. It was a romantic comedy with some shenanigans, but I wasn't expecting anything, and I got, yeah, I wasn't crazy about it. I like Owen Wilson. I like Kate Hudson. Matt Dillon's really good at playing seething rage. He's got a good, a comic exaggeration when he does. But yeah, I wasn't big on this movie at all. Sorry. can't recommend you, me, and Dupree. Sorry, Russo Brothers. But, you know, I think the incredible success of the 4 Marvel movies you've made makes up for it. Again, please leave a comment or here on the YouTube page or on the Facebook page that I've got, and let me know which director you would like me to tackle next. Would you want me to do a film by Joe Johnston, or do you want me to do the Kenneth Branagh and Joss Whedon Much Ado About Nothing double feature? So yeah, let me know. And of course the link to that Facebook page is below if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks again for watching, and thank you to my new subscribers. I get a new one like once a week, even though I hardly put out any videos at all. So thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it very much. And I'll see you next time. Later.